Welcome. Today is September 29th, 2022, and the show begins right now. Today, we've got Thursday Night Football game on. It's a big day for the NFL. We've got a little coffee today, get started early. We've got my guest, Jack Wallace, on the couch over here. Big props to Jack for bringing in the coffee.
No problem.
Jack, how are you doing this morning? You look great. Did you go to Harvard?
Yeah, I flew in real quick.
Nice.
No, I look like a bum, but it's cold out, so I had to throw on the sweats, and I'm really getting that nice fall weather that we all like. So
definitely was getting a little bit chilly. I had to get used to that. Walking to class the other day, I was like freezing cold.
Yeah, I just don't go if it's too cold. Kidding, of course.
Kidding, of course.
Academic
yes.
weapon. But.
We are very, very based here. No, this is it's definitely a great time of year, and football is at its peak in my opinion.
Oh,
but
yeah, for sure.
There's definitely some trade-offs. I don't know if there's a couple things that I'm like, we should do without that. Keep the chilly.
Yeah, this is about as cold as I like to get. Just
yeah.
like enough for sweatpants and a sweatshirt, but I don't want to
stay comfortable in
exactly.
that.
I don't
Yes.
want like 3 winter coats on.
No.
Or something like that.
Oh, I was walking one day and I saw someone wearing a winter coat, and I was just thinking to myself, like, God, that's gonna be me in like 2 months.
Yeah.
I do not want to be doing that.
No, me neither.
No, that is not this is not where I want to be. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. We got quite a bit to cover today. We've got first thing up, Davante Adams. Last night I was just scrolling through Twitter right before bed. Comes out with a quote, and he's talking about he thinks people are comparing his stats in Green Bay to his stats in Oakland or in Las Vegas. Yeah, sorry, I was listening to some old podcasts about them when they were in Oakland.
They're new. They're 0-3 in Las Vegas right
now. That was what he was saying. He's like, we should be focusing on bigger things other than my stats.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, clearly you guys aren't focusing on the bigger things. You're 0-3. What's going on?
I mean, they should be, in theory.
In theory, that's what should be going on.
I just don't know if they are. Because, when you start off 0-3, and they've all been close games, excuse me. And I think it was week 2 Arizona, they lost in that kind of Hunter Renfro, like kind of blew the game. And then last week against Tennessee, they lost again too. And week 1, I think they lost to the Chargers. So all been close games, but clearly the focus hasn't been on winning. So, or if it has, it's just not been going well. So.
Yeah, things definitely need to shape up at the Raiders facility. We said last week we weren't necessarily big fans of the Raiders.
Oh,
and
I hate them.
I mean, no hate to any teams in particular, especially if you're a Raiders fan.
Yeah, I guess
but
I don't hate the Raiders.
But I mean, they're just definitely a team that's not exactly ever impressed me with their play.
Me neither.
But they could turn it around. Obviously, they usually start out 5-6-0 and then completely fall off. So what I'm almost scared of is they go 0-5-0-6, completely turn it on for the end of the season. Is that a possibility?
Maybe, but I don't see it happening. I like your optimism, though.
I mean, Davante Adams is a game changer.
Yeah,
He's definitely got the ability.
Sure. And I think he's missing his daddy Aaron right now. So.
He is, a little bit.
Yeah.
So we remember Davante Adams talking about Derek Carr having potentially just as much, if not more, arm talent than Aaron Rodgers. We see how that turned out. We do, however, see the opposite in Miami.
Oh, yeah.
With Tyreek talking about Tua being more talented than Patrick. And,
sure.
Well, when you take a look at that, it's kind of actually...
It looks less crazy than it did a month ago when he was saying it. Now, do I think it's true that Tua is better than Patrick Mahomes? I know I'm a little biased, but
yes,
I think Tua has proven himself to be better than everyone thought. Now, I think that's fair to say.
That is definitely a fair assessment. I did not assume Tua was going to be worth anything. I thought he was going to throw all this talent down the drain. Going to be a complete waste of a season.
Me too.
Cap.
Me too.
It was going to be worth nothing. But he has come along. I don't know his exact stats as far as touchdowns, where he stands in the league and all of that. But he has made the most of his weapons. Started out the season 3-0. One of 2 teams to do so after the completion of Week 3. The last time we were on the show, we hadn't quite gotten through the Monday night game where the Giants were at the time 2-0. They fell to the Cowboys. Unfortunately, I was incorrect in that pick. But it begs the question of did Tyreek do this, or did Mike McDaniel kind of build this team to give Tua that, does Tua need that firepower is essentially what I'm asking. Because
got to be a mix of both, in my opinion. With the new coach, new star wide receiver, and I'm sure Tua took some time in the offseason to clearly get better and get to know his team and play better with them and have better chemistry. Whatever they've done, it's working. They're 3-0, and I'm excited to watch them play tonight. So.
They are, yes. So the last time the Dolphins went 4-0 actually to start the season was in 1995. 27 years ago, they lost in the wild card game that year. But Tua in his last 10, he's 9-1, so that's pretty impressive. And I don't know. I mean, here's the thing: is I'm actually a Tua hater myself for some reason. I don't know where that came from. If it's because he's from Alabama, I kind of hate Mac Jones because he's from Alabama, and I'm a Patriots fan. Doesn't really seem to add up.
No, not at all.
But I'm not a huge Tua fan, and a lot of people feel the same way. Not very many people will give Tua the credit he deserves, especially from what we've seen thus far. But starting 9-1, well, not starting, but going 9-1 in your last 10 is quite a feat, especially in the NFL. And to make the most of what he had last season, because obviously they haven't played 10 games this year, but to really come out guns a-blazing this far has been really fun to watch. Tonight they play the Bengals.
Yep.
Bengals. So here's the thing: the Bengals' only win is against the Jets. Is that really worth anything? Probably not.
Half a win.
They haven't exactly proven themselves to be a powerhouse. That's for sure.
No, not at all.
But they have a superpower tonight. They've got a little bit of a level up coming.
Oh, I think I might have shared this with you. Yeah. I know exactly what you mean.
Well, actually, we can get into that.
Oh, okay.
But
There's more? Oh,
there's
wow.
more.
I'm excited now.
There's more, and we can get into what Jack's talking about in just a second. But the superpower for the Bengals tonight is what the fans have been asking for years.
Oh, now I know what you're talking about for sure.
Those white
helmets? Yes, sir.
helmets, the white jerseys are just...
They're so clean. I mean,
oh.
They're going to be green by the end of the game. But
they will,
other
yes.
than that,
but, so I don't know if nobody seems to follow me on Twitter. We have one follower on Twitter. And
it might be me.
It might be Jack, the co-host here. But I actually retweeted my first post ever. I was like, this is the coolest thing I have ever seen.
They're a good-looking uniform. They deserve it.
They are absolutely unbelievable. There's a couple photo shoots where they've got, like, orange visors, and it just made me want to, like...
Yeah, I know. Dude... And, like, a nice-looking NFL jersey is, like, my favorite thing because, you know, the NBA, they always do, like, city jerseys and throwbacks and stuff like that, and I wish the NFL would do some sort of just, like, alternate, like, new jersey every year. And, that stuff just makes me excited to see a clean New Jersey like that.
They're definitely...
I love those helmets.
This year with the new... not every team is doing a throwback helmet, but a lot of teams are. The Giants are doing, I believe, their throwbacks this week as well. Nothing near as cool as the white Bengals jerseys.
Yeah, no doubt.
But, man, I can tell you, I've been waiting for that. I can't remember when the white Bengal helmet got pitched, probably like 5-6 years ago when I first saw it. And I was like, that would be so cool, but they never do that. They never bring in these alternate, especially helmets.
Yeah.
But even the jerseys, they stick to those 2, 3, when the color rush was a big thing. That was a huge deal.
Rush,
yeah, that was super cool. Some of them were really ugly. I don't know if you remember the Jacksonville mustard yellow.
I do remember that. Or I think
horrible.
the Rams were bright yellow too.
Yeah, they did not make the most of that scenario, but that was a really cool thing to see.
It was a cool idea,
NFL.
for sure.
It definitely was really nice, and especially when both teams did it. It just kind of had this cool vibe about the field. I really enjoyed watching those games. We're going to be seeing that tonight from the Bengals. I think that might give them a little bit of juice. Joe Burrow came out and said that he could play in trash bags. He does not give a shit what he's wearing. So is this something that's going to affect Joe Burrow? Probably not. If anything, it'll make it easier to see the receivers, I suppose. Maybe.
You can't get much better than bright orange.
That's what I was just thinking as I'm saying. I'm like, bright orange, bright yellow, or bright white, pretty much the same thing.
Well, you know, sometimes wearing like new clothes, new uniform, new outfit, whatever, gives you that confidence.
Gives a little bit of juice.
I don't know why, but it's got a little something to it.
Something to the locker room, a little bit of...
100%.
Yeah, for sure. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. But what you were talking about actually came out yesterday. Do you want to talk about what you found?
I was just scrolling through TikTok, and it was a screenshot of a tweet on TikTok, and it was video of the Dolphins, because I think they're playing in Cincinnati tonight.
Correct.
So it was a video of the Dolphins practicing at Cincinnati University or college, whatever they are, their field, because I don't think they can. They're probably already in town because of the hurricane, I'm guessing, or I don't know if they normally would just practice at the away city.
I'm not entirely sure
I don't know,
either, but I would not be surprised if the hurricane has something to do with it.
Probably, but the gist of it is the Dolphins were practicing at University of Cincinnati, that's what I'm going to call them, their field. And some spectators, somebody, recorded the entire practice and their walkthrough of all their plays and posted it to Twitter, like, over a day before the game. So now Miami either is screwed and because their opposing team knows all their plays, or they're going to have to come up with a whole new playbook, which, with their coach,
is
probably
possible.
will. Yeah.
Mike might actually have an extra playbook stored away somewhere for this exact scenario. He's probably dreamt this up multiple times. But that is wild to me that it had to have been a worker.
I don't know. Because I'm guessing the fact that we've never seen this before makes me think it's not normal for a team to practice like in the other team's city.
Well, if you remember,
because that's why I think it's the Hurricane, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't. Well, it's different in a different team's city, but I don't know if you remember the Bengals actually ended up. Where were they practicing last year before the Super Bowl? They were practicing at a college field. Do you remember that?
Yeah, because weren't they already in L.A. for the Super Bowl?
Something like that. Yeah. I think it was maybe. I don't want to speak out of turn, but they were practicing at a college facility. Yeah. So it has happened before, but you're right. In a different city, it's a little bit different. Mm-hmm. And whoever filmed that is either going to get paid $1 billion by the Dolphins owner, or is going to get fired so fast from the University of Cincinnati's whatever they're doing. I'm assuming he was a worker. I don't know how any traditional person would be allowed in the facility for that. You would think it's not allowed for these reasons exactly.
Yeah.
But that is definitely interesting to see. Maybe did the Dolphins get a hold of this? Is it possible that in the spirit of the game they didn't use it? Is there something that comes down from Roger?
I'm guessing, like, I doubt the whole Dolphins sat down, had a meeting, and watched all these videos, or the whole Bengals. I mean, yeah, I'm not thinking the Bengals just sat and watched all of them together, but, like, players are on social media, they see this stuff, they can talk to each other, and I don't know, it's just weird. I'm just imagining the Dolphins looking up during practicing one guy sitting and filming. Like, I don't know how I'm sure they're not looking for that when they're out practicing, but at the same time, it's like, how do you miss that? I don't know.
No, exactly, and what it takes to win in the NFL is so, like, just grandiose, and every small thing matters. And I could definitely see some, cornerbacks that, because cornerback, you have to have, like, the most athleticism on the whole field. That's obvious. Like, everybody knows that. I could see them going out there and basically being like, this is going to help me get that edge.
It would.
And
see all their routes and their formations and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. There's definitely an element to it of having to guard Tyreek still.
Oh, yeah.
So there's definitely a skill level aspect to the game, but that is big time for that game. I don't know who I'm going to take here. I feel like the Dolphins are the obvious pick.
Yeah.
But you're right, with that on the radar, the New Jerseys, I would almost be compelled to pick the Bengals, just honestly for the New Jerseys.
I wouldn't call you crazy for doing that, but I know myself personally, I am taking the Dolphins tonight, and I will say that. I'll put that on the record too.
Okay, well, we might even go do some picks later, but that is...
There's one down for me.
One down. We got it down. Yes, that's an awesome game, really, to watch. It's going to be really exciting. We've got, Jamar Chase versus Jalen Waddle or Tyreek Hill, whichever one you want to pick. Tua versus Burrow. That's going to be a great game. Let's go ahead, go around the league a little bit. We've got the Chargers tonight, or not tonight, but this weekend. They'll be playing the Texans, and they're out Bosa for a pretty extended period of time with his groin injury. Rashawn Slater is out as well. Are the Chargers dead? Because that was a rough showing last week without Bosa, without Rashawn Slater. Herbert obviously in extreme pain.
Yeah.
What is going on in Los Angeles on that side of the ball?
I don't know. I think the Chargers will be fine. They have a good... I'm sure Justin Herbert will bounce back and get healthy. And if he's still playing on whatever little injury he has, it can't be that bad. I can't imagine. But...
What are you talking about?
What do you mean? He's still playing through it.
He had to get injections to play last game.
Well...
Homie's ribs are in pieces.
I don't know. I'll say this. If Justin Herbert stays healthy, as in, like, actually healthy and not just, like, healthy on a bunch of drugs. But
yes,
if he stays actually healthy, the Chargers will be fine. They have 2 good receivers in Keenan Allen and Mike Williams. If Keenan Allen bounces back, they have Austin Eckler. Their defense is still okay without Joey Bosa, so I'm not counting out the Chargers by any means yet. Now, seeing them starting 1-2 is pretty surprising. I will say that. I was definitely expecting them to get a win last week in my picks, but the Chargers aren't done. I don't think they're done yet. So
no, I definitely think that they have a high ceiling here, and they're probably sitting on the floor, which is promising, at least, as depressing as it is to look at that. I don't know if they're capable of bouncing back from that many injuries. Obviously, you lose one guy, fine. You lose 2.
2 big names.
Yeah, you start to lose more. Obviously, there's some smaller injuries around the team that are going to play a role. I'm not going to call the Chargers dead yet, but I am going to definitely put them on the watch list for teams that should have done a lot better than they will.
As of now.
As of now, yes, and we'll see what they do. In other news, Minneapolis home field has been decided to be the relocation point for the Bucks and the Chiefs this weekend, if that need be. Yes,
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, so if they need to move it from the Bucks field because of Hurricane Ian, they will be up in what is that? What's the field name? You know, something Bank Field.
Oh, is it U.S. Bank?
Might be. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. I don't know why people even name their stadiums, but but that's interesting. I don't know regarding the hurricane. Did you see? There were sharks swimming around.
I did,
in the streets.
I saw a little bit of that.
That's insane.
Pretty crazy. It's like one of those things that if you're like us and from Iowa or anywhere but, excuse me.
Wow.
If you're from anywhere but a place affected by it, like that's just, you look at it and you laugh and it's funny. But like, could you imagine opening your door and seeing the water up to here and a shark just swimming right through? That'd be insane.
That's insanity. Yeah.
It wouldn't even be like scary. It would just be like, you think you're dreaming. I don't know any other way to put it.
Right. I don't know if you've seen the clips of the news anchorman out in the middle of practically the hurricane.
I've seen a few of them.
Fighting the wind, like just trying to stay standing up. Florida's a whole other animal of a state. I could never live there or will never understand what goes through the minds of half those people there. But, we respect them. We definitely enjoy their contributions to society. But I will not probably be down there taking part in those news.
You don't want to be a Florida news headline anytime soon?
Can't say I'm particularly enjoying or particularly engaged by that idea. Lastly, as far as news goes, we do have the Myles Garrett car crash. A little bit somber news. He's fine.
That's good.
Don't get freaked out. But
is everyone fine?
Yes, it was just him and his passenger.
Great. It's great.
They, apparently it was wet out. Did a little bit of swerving in the Porsche, trying to avoid an animal on the road. Rolled it a few times. Some body cam footage came out from a police officer or fireman or whatever. Turns out, he was sitting on the ground, shirt like torn up. And you gotta remember, this dude's 6'4", 275.
Big dude.
In a little Porsche. And I've seen a lot of takes around the internet talking about, well, how can a big man in a little Porsche like that get out unscathed? My thought is that actually the big man in the little Porsche is what created the like atmosphere for less injuries, because what does an airbag do essentially? It
cushions the blow or whatever.
Cushions the blow, and it'll break your face in if you're not careful because of like so much force.
Yeah.
But basically what it's doing is it's creating less space for you to move. Myles Garrett getting into this car, he's like this, and then he can barely get up, grab the steering wheel because there's no room.
Yeah.
Well, when the car starts to roll, instead of going all the way, he's just doing this because he's so big.
Yeah, I guess.
So it's possible that the car basically had a built-in seatbelt in Myles Garrett being so huge.
I'm sure that helps. Maybe I should gain like 100 pounds.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, because I'm already 6'2", which is close enough. Put on 100, and I'll be immune from any car crash.
That's exactly. Maybe not any, but most of them.
I think for the show we need to be scientific and check the theory.
We should test it. We should.
So I volunteer. Actually, on second, I'm volunteering you to gain 150 pounds.
So yeah, what I'll probably do is I'll probably gain 150 pounds. We can do this probably next Wednesday. Give me 6 days. I should be fine.
But you should do it official. You should do it right. You need to join the NFL.
True.
And then get on Myles Garrett's diet and workout plan.
Yep. Okay. Let's
Boom.
How about everyone down below tag Myles Garrett? We'll get him to send me his workout plan, his diet plan,
and his Porsche.
Yes, and his Porsche.
Well, maybe not now, but
and then we'll definitely do a science experiment on this.
There we go.
If we can get Myles Garrett on the show, I would do that, no problem.
Make it happen.
No questions asked.
Obviously, once he's back from his crash and okay.
Yeah,
we wish him the best.
So yes, we're happy he's fine. He does have strained bicep and shoulder, sprained shoulder, strained bicep, I believe are the two, but he could be playing this Sunday.
Oh really? They haven't ruled him out?
They haven't ruled him out. How insane is that for...
Well, I mean, I don't know. It must not have been that bad after
Must have been okay, I guess, because I could not imagine essentially getting in a horrible car crash and then going to put my body through what is basically another car crash on a football field.
Exactly. I mean, people probably hurt themselves worse playing football than they do during that crash. So
yeah. I mean, props to Myles for being an absolute alien, but I am amazed that he could even fathom playing after something like that.
Yeah, I wouldn't play. But
I guess that's what it takes to turn Cleveland around after just so much has happened this offseason. But,
yeah,
you know.
I have a feeling it's going to take a little more than that, but...
He's showing his dedication to the team.
It's going the right way, though.
For sure. All right, well, we're going to go ahead and take a quick break. This coffee is definitely getting to me, so I'm going to go ahead, pop out here really quick. We're going to come back. We're bringing on a new guest on the show. We're going to try out a new format here. We're going to...
Power on.
This is the second episode that's done that.
We're going to stay on.
We're going to go ahead, use this monitor here, and we're going to zoom in a friend from Texas Christian University. Yes,
Horned Frogs.
Horned Frogs, roll tide. We're going to go ahead and bring them in and see what he has to say. We'll be back on the other side. What is up, guys? It is post-production Nick here, going through some of this footage, and I figured it was a good time to just kind of explain a couple of the things that are going to happen in the future and what you just saw. We had some pretty major technical difficulties combined with the incompetence using technology on our end. Pretty embarrassing, but you know what? I'll go through it. You probably noticed the last couple minutes Jack wasn't on the screen at all. His phone ran out of space, so we don't have that footage, so not awesome, but that's fine. It's okay. It wasn't the whole episode. And then the other big thing coming up in our interview with our guest, we did not... Two major things happened. First, we did not get the footage of the first couple minutes, so I did a little bit of master editing to get around that. You'll see that in a second. And we also did not capture the first 1 minute of his audio, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go over that with my own voice, just kind of re-emulate what he said. But otherwise, besides that, we're planning to go live pretty soon here, maybe not next week, but hopefully the week after at the very latest. And by then, all these issues will go away. We just need to iron out a few more kinks, and we should be good to roll. But that's what's happened and what's about to happen as far as why things are going to look a little funky here for a second. I promise they iron out by the end of the video. Things start to look tip-top shape again, just as they should. So let's just get back to it. All right, welcome back. We finally got it all figured out. We had some technical difficulties. We are going to have Jack on the monitor for now. We've got everything figured out, but it took a little bit of time, so we're happy to be over that hump. Technical difficulty is never a good time. Yeah, just try to look into the camera.
No, I'll look right at you.
Okay. All right. Well, we're gonna hope that this turns out all right. But we do have our guest on the show, a man who grew up in Iowa and seems to hate it here, as many people do. Decided to move down to the great state of Texas, hoping to make everything of his bigger. Accumulated 3 million likes on TikTok. Hosts our TikTok page in hopes of growing the channel. A man that has at least one Fortnite win, because I've witnessed it. And the man has unbelievable style. The one and only Hunter Leichsenring. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you for having me on. What a great intro. Thank you for that. Yes, we're glad to have you. It's unbelievable to finally get you on the show. Feels like it's been a long time coming at this point.
Oh, definitely. We haven't been on the show before, so man, I cannot read lips.
Well, we're glad to have you. How has your been so far? Obviously, you're studying down at the University of TCU. I don't know how you guys phrase that down there.
Texas Christian University. We wore the suit today because I don't have any other clean clothes in my dresser, and we just had to find something that was clean.
Yes, we heard that through the grapevine you may have a major midterm coming up, so we appreciate you coming on the show, giving us your time. What are you studying for the listeners at home?
I'm studying mechanical engineering, and my midterm this week is in thermodynamics.
Interesting. Okay, that sounds like it's way above my head for us sports goofballs over here, but you know
we don't know anything about that. We're just here to talk sports.
Oh, don't worry, it's actually really easy. I barely ever study, like, at all.
For sure. So that's kind of what the topic is today, unfortunately for you. It is sports. We're not talking thermodynamics. Let's go ahead and get started with something that I feel like something of your nature would be more familiar with than actual stat lines. Josh Allen for the Buffalo Bills came out and talked about his experience at the bottom of a pile this weekend on a podcast. Allegedly he was at the bottom of the pile and someone just decided to grab his massive wiener and must have mistaken it for an arm or something, because he was pretty heated when he came out of that pile.
Okay, I mean, I've heard stories like this. You know, my stepdad, he was a big football player. He talked a lot about the stuff that would go on in the pile, and all I could say is that I would never want to experience that. It's you look at wrestling as a sport of two men grabbing on each other while they're sweaty, and you're like, okay, that's a little sus, but nothing compares to when you're in the bottom of a dog pile and you just feel someone bite your calf. You know, it's a little crazy when some people are coming around here thinking, I just need to do what I can to get to that ball, and if I can't get to that ball, I just want to cause mayhem on the other team. And that's totally fair. I can totally see why Josh Allen got his dick grabbed, you know. It's something that probably all of us would experience if we were in the bottom of that pile too, and we only had one hand free. If you saw something that you could grab, you would grab it.
Exactly. I think a lot of NFL players are probably looking for new ways to get the ball out at the bottom of the pile. Obviously, no one can see what's going on down there, just with so many guys as a part of it. But I think that's definitely a bit unorthodox. I would like to say I didn't play football at any competitive level outside of high school, but I did not ever experience anything of that sort of nature. It definitely brings a different aspect to the NFL game when you kind of think about like how much it means to these guys to win this game.
Do you think your dog piles took place more off the field than on the field, or you know, do you think maybe that just wasn't a football thing for you?
Yeah, that could have been an outside of the football different kind of aspect, but that's more warranted in those situations. You know, that's kind of what I'm thinking.
Sure.
So was he carrying the ball?
He was. Yeah, they were gunning for the ball there.
So that's probably why he got his dick grabbed. I would say that if they weren't trying to get that ball loose, you know, I'd say probably 3 times out of 10 I would let go of that ball if somebody grabbed my dick. The other 7 I'd hold on to that ball.
See, I feel like it would cause one of two things to happen. Either you're gonna let go, or you're gonna hold on to that sucker tighter.
Right. Exactly. Or maybe you like it, and that's why you release.
It was Christian Wilkins, and it was after the play. Josh Allen's accusing him of grabbing his crotch.
Okay. I would not expect that. I would expect, like, a Dominican Sue or something. But I would not expect...
The Dominican Sue.
Because he used to kick guys, you know? So it's like, what are you going to do?
Fair enough. Yeah, it's good that there was no, like, biting or any... You know, obviously that's a little bit more... I don't know. Would that be more serious? I feel like being sexually assaulted on the football field is something of pretty relevant status.
I mean, yeah, I would say getting bit is probably worse, more painful.
Definitely would probably hurt worse.
Getting your dick grabbed is more emotionally painful.
True. Yeah, it would really would take the wind out of your sails there.
What if they bit your dick?
Ooh,
double negative.
Yeah.
That's when you got to contact the NFL and make a whole report about it. That's like when actors get treated bad in like a movie and then they sue the company or the studio. I think that's what you got to do at that point. You just got to go after the NFL. Go after Roger.
It's just all part of the game at this point. Today's day and age, it's the league's gotten too soft.
We need a bit more dick grabs.
I'm glad we've come to that conclusion on here. Looks like we got 10 minutes. All right.
I mean, hey, talking about dick grabs, Zach Wilson. He's on that pathway, just in a different area, different field to play. The bedroom.
Zach Wilson is coming back this week for the Jets. You're obviously into that stuff more, the whole dick grabbing thing. Did you?
What the fuck is that? What? What the fuck are you talking about? You can't just say that shit. I'm not into dick grabbing. I'm not like that. I thought you were gonna say, yeah, the Zach Wilson thing. You're obviously into moms more than anybody else here, which isn't even true. But I would have much rather taken that over the dick grabbing.
I'm just gonna say that since you have joined the show, it has taken a bit of a turn, and I'm all for it. But it's going.
This show does a complete 180 when a guy that doesn't know anything about sports gets on here.
Yeah, and I think we need some more of that in this kind of atmosphere. But it definitely is something different. So back to the question, were you surprised to see that news come out about Zach Wilson? Was that something that really tripped your trigger, made you a Jets, kind of enthusiast going forward? Be like, I'm going to watch a lot more Jets games with Zach Wilson at the helm of the quarterback area there. Did it make you think maybe he was going to have a sophomore season than a freshman season, if you will? And what was your kind of initial reaction to the whole Zach Wilson maybe out here banging moms?
Honestly, there's a lot of sexually active men in the NFL, men who have really come out about their sexual fetishes, and I think this is a very tame one that we can get behind. We can't get behind OBJ getting shit on. We can't get behind Ben Roethlisberger's porn addiction, but we can get behind a quarterback who might be killing it on and off the field, in the bedroom and in the stadium. And moms. You got to love it. Because he's not going after underage women, he's going after overage women. So
Correct.
It's literally a win-win.
It's definitely something that I didn't think of it in that aspect of going for the not illegal age group. If you're going to go outside your own age group, it's definitely going older, and it's a move, and I think it's one that a lot of people can respect. That's not an easy thing to do. These women have access to men with a lot of money. Granted, Zach Wilson has a lot of money as well. He's got that baby face from BYU, but I mean, it would definitely surprise me.
To me, the best thing about it all is Zach Wilson is just this kid from BYU who everyone thought was like so innocent and just like could never even hurt a fly. And not that he's doing anything wrong, but it's just pretty wild to hear about what he's been doing in the off season, if you ask me.
I mean,
whatever.
Very true.
Whatever it takes to get ready for the NFL season, I know it's a very grueling thing to get ready for, and if you got to get your stress out somehow, I totally understand.
Like for me, I expect this out of like Joe Burrow or someone like that, but Zach Wilson,
Right.
No way. So I think that made it 10 times better.
I know. Coming from a BYU player, it's crazy to see. You never hear about anything about BYU except for when they played Wisconsin, they ran out of beer in the entire state of Utah. It's just something that you got to look at with the culture of BYU and how they have the pro vote push, all that jazz. It's just, like you said, Jack, it's crazy to see that we have a Mormon. Is he Mormon? Or he comes from a Mormon school, and now he's just balling out with his friend's mom. That's even another thing about it, is it's basically his aunt, if it's his mom's good friend. But he's just going crazy. He's going hard in the paint.
Yeah, no, we definitely love to see it. Much respect out to Zach Wilson. If Zach would love to come on the show and talk about that, we're definitely going to allow that. That would be a wonderful conversation. We did get a notification from Zoom that allegedly we've got a couple minutes here, so I would like to go over a couple of these games with you. Are you going to be watching the Thursday night game tonight, or are you going to be busy studying?
I will be busy studying. Who's playing?
We've got Dolphins, Bengals tonight. Dolphins are the powerhouse in the AFC. They've clearly shown that. But the Bengals are coming out in their all-white uniforms, the ones we've been waiting for years. Do you have an opinion on that game?
Okay, I can't have an opinion on the all-white uniforms. I just gotta say I wouldn't be waiting for that for years. I was kind of hoping for all teal. I love that when they do that, you know? But as far as the Dolphins go, I mean, we gotta, like you said, that was the butt punt, right? We gotta focus on special teams. We can't have another mishap like that, especially if the game's tighter at the end of the game, you know? And we need this punt, you know? We can't have another butt punt. That's what I'm saying.
Now, I don't know if you watched Monday's episode, but we have a theory that the butt punt was intentional. Well, Nick has a theory, I should say. So maybe they don't need to fix that, according to Nick.
See, this was the main hitting point when I was creating the TikTok page. Was I wanted people to be pissed off at Nick. So if I could get people mad at Nick, then I knew that we could get some views on the TikTok page. So I posted a TikTok basically saying that it was intentional. And then I cut him right before he said, granted, they were down by 4. So field goal wouldn't matter. But I ended it with Nick saying...
That's all the comments.
Yeah, that's all the comments.
They're all saying they needed the 4 points or whatever.
And it worked.
Now, what are you going to... I'm just excited to see what you have people mad at Nick about this week, so...
Oh, we'll find something. I mean, you know, Nick's a great analyst, but sometimes Nick just has takes that just don't land well, especially if you cut him off halfway.
So, who are you taking in tonight's game?
Oh, Dolphins all the way.
Dolphins all the way. No, I do have to say, in respect to that video that came out, you know, we love a top-tier social media manager. But to all of you guys out there, you know, this is something that I've heard this 1,000 times. You know, you don't read the comments on your videos, and luckily our YouTube is dead enough that there aren't any comments. But the some of those comments on the TikTok were pretty spicy, I have to say.
Yeah, some people on TikTok, they just be going in on my boy Marv, and I'm like, okay, you know, it sucks, but they're just boosting the algorithm. You know, hate is what's making this video get pushed out to more and more people. It's great.
I'm kind of mad about the comments, too, and no one said anything about my sunglasses, so I didn't wear them today.
Your clip was, like, very vague. I feel like if you had more of a talking point, people would be like, oh,
probably.
This guy's rocking the
Definitely,
shades.
Definitely.
Yeah, for sure. No, that's a good point. We love the social media push from our man Hunter here. I would ask you about more of these games, but I don't think you know all 32 teams. You are aware of the Cowboys,
What?
probably. They have an NFC East, NFC least matchup this week with the Commanders. I don't know. They're from Texas. Do you know who the Cowboys are, Hunter?
Oh my God, Marv, what the fuck is this? What the? The Cowboys have been my childhood team. It's America's team. Okay, you know it's.
I don't know if I'd say that much.
Okay, well it should be the Patriots, but obviously they're too racist to be that.
Okay, well that seems a little uncalled for.
Yeah, it probably is, but I don't care. Obviously, the Commanders make absolutely no, like you said, it's the NFC least. Every team sucks in that division. You know, it's literally the easiest division if you were a decent team to get a playoff berth out of, and yet they're always battling for it. They're always battling for like a bottom tier, like it's
8-6
crazy the
for that
numbers.
first seed.
And this year it seems like it's kind of being overruled by the Eagles.
You know, I would say that's fair. I'd say most of the time it's between the Eagles and the Cowboys. The Giants haven't done anything in the past 7 years. I mean, the Cowboys, they have playoff berths, but they haven't done anything good in the past 25. You know.
True. No, I definitely know what you're saying. I feel like that's a valid assessment. I think we're running out of time here on Zoom. I don't want to get you cut off, so I'll let you get back to your classes and studying and whatnot. But it was a pleasure having you on the show. We hope to have you back soon.
You know, I really appreciate it. I love this show. It's great. It's a great format for a good YouTube channel. And I think that if more people just start tuning in and seeing the hot takes, seeing the hard-hitting sports facts that you guys are saying and opinions that you're taking, they're actually pretty valid. And you guys have good opinions on it. And I think that we'll see some good Morrow bets start hitting as the show goes on.
Yes, sir. My birthday is next week, so I can start legally commenting on these Knicks Morrow bets, a future segment, a little bit of a little teaser there. But we're hoping to bring more people like you into the realm of sports, people that have absolutely no idea what basically a football is we're hoping to get them, kind of caught up on the sport and bring more joy to the sport, basically. So thanks for coming on. We'll see you next time. I'm sure that'll be coming up soon.
Thanks,
Jack,
Hunter.
Nick, thanks for having me.
All right, well, that was our interview with the man Hunter Leichsenring. Let us know down below what you think. He's definitely a character, and we apologize for all the technical issues this episode had. Looks like we're going through some stuff over here. So we're going to go ahead. I think we're going to sign off, but that's our Thursday recap of the week of news. We didn't get any picks in, but that's something we'd like to do in the future. Like I said, the Knicks tomorrow bets might be coming. We're going to be trying to pick all the games and keep track of that throughout the season. Just a couple small things to iron out as we keep going forward. But we thank you for tuning in, and we hope you have one hell of a weekend. It's going to be a great weekend of football. It's going to be a great weekend in general.
That's
Big
right.
positive vibes.
We're excited.
All right. We'll see you guys around.